Let's call it order at 12:02. Attendance.
Okay, Hart.
Here.
Corey.
Here.
Ellis.
Present. Can you hear me?
Visible.
Blink, yeah, blink for
Let's see, let me
Can
see.
you hear me?
Our audio.
Yes.
It might be us. That's what we're trying to figure out. Can we
Can't hear you.
I can hear
Wave if
you.
you can hear us. Are you present? Okay, he's,
Our speakers work fine, so we'll see when we get to Jeremy. Geesey. Malone.
Here.
Let's see.
We can hear us. We're addressing technical issues on our end right now to see if we can actually hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Sometimes on my computer, it's routed to the wrong kind of speaker. They're clear speakers.
See if we can hear anything now. Someone talk.
Ellis or Jeremy,
Hello?
can you do a test?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear?
Hello?
I can.
You can hear us, we can't hear you.
just hold up cards with words on them.
Test, can you guys hear us?
Okay.
How about now? Does that work?
He's talking, we can't.
You have to adjourn to stop recording and come back in. That's the only other thing I know how to do. is just-
Right, 'cause we can't hear you. We can take a recess, you know.
Yeah, we'll take a recess.
Here, we'll.
So, watch that.
Oh, great. Like a weird thing.
Reboot your computer.
I will take a slight pause.
All right, we're gonna recess for just a couple minutes while we try and get this audio worked out. This looks bigger than your hand.
It's good you can hear us. We can't.
No.
Hey.
Now
nice
they're
to
gone
meet-
all together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
nice-
Jeremy, it's
nice-
nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Pleasure to, I think this is your first Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee meeting.
It is, yeah. I was, yeah, I think we canceled February when I got brought on board, and I was in Mexico last month, and I'm actually in New York City today at a conference, but
I
Yeah.
thought it said Newark maybe on your lanyard there,
oh, did it? Oh, okay.
or just your like ID badge.
Oh, yeah, yeah. See, yeah. Here, let me. Yeah, I won't be as the conferencey. Yeah.
Yeah. How's the weather in New York today?
Today's good. We had a great day yesterday. It was almost 70 when we went to the Yankees game last night, which was fun.
Nice.
And then yeah, it's supposed to get rainy tomorrow, but yeah,
Can you guys hear us now?
I can hear you.
Okay, we can hear
can you?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yankees game.
Alright, so I'll
Can you
go,
move?
I'll go back to the virtual, go back to you for roll call.
Michael,
So
will you-
Alice, oh, you have a question?
Can you, if possible, move the camera? I
Oh.
can't see, but I see like the top of court. Thank you. Yeah.
Alright, perfect.
Thanks.
Okay, so for roll call, we'll just start from square one. Is that okay, Rob?
Sounds good.
Okay. Hart,
Here.
Corey,
Here.
Ellis,
Present.
Geesey, Malone,
Here.
Fellows.
Here,
Nice. New business, one thing for you 2 minutes. Jeremy, welcome to the committee. It's nice to have you here.
Yeah,
Do
thank you.
you want to take just a second and introduce yourself to the rest of us?
Sure. One, I apologize for not being there in person. I'm at a ULI conference in New York today, but I'm Jeremy Malone. I work with Oppenheimer Development, which is a local development company that we traditionally specialize in downtown development projects. I'm currently working on the tower that's behind the Record Exchange on 12th and Idaho. And also working on the old Safari Inn remodel to hopefully open up in May as a new boutique hotel. So happy to be here, and yeah, look forward to learning more about everyone and getting more involved.
Thank you, welcome to the group. When you're at an in-person meeting, we'll take the time and introduce all ourselves to you too, but I don't want to overwhelm you on meeting number one with who everybody is. Anyway, all right, new business minutes. Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes from the March 13th meeting? Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Did we approve the minutes from the March 13th, 2024 meeting?
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion passes. Item number 2, or B, review fiscal year 2025 impact fee projects. Sarah, I think that's you.
Wonderful. Welcome, Jeremy. I am Sarah Arkle. I am the Superintendent of Parks Resources for the Department of Parks and Recreation here in the city of Boise. You're coming at a good time because we are setting budget and projects for fiscal year 2025, which begins on October 1st. And with that in mind, I thought I'd go through what Parks is proposing to do with impact fee dollars, with the understanding that budget is set by mayor and council, and that has not yet been finalized. So as of now, this was the proposal that we sent to the Department of Finance and the mayor's office for parks projects. I know, thank you. So we've talked a lot about Alta Harris Community Park. This is a city-owned property that we are engaged in a partnership with Lanier. Might be Barber Valley Development that is party to the partnership. We have been waiting for impact fee dollars to become available for the build out of this park. As is the case with most of our parks projects, impact fee dollars tend to run short of the full cost of a project. So we are forced to determine how we would phase in development. And in this case, we have a partner who also has some commitments with regard to providing funding, details of which we are working out now. 2025 was the year that impact fee dollars were projected to become available for this park. We have a lot of work we need to do even before we break ground on anything. But we plan in 2025 to utilize some of those impact fee dollars, 1.5 million, see there on the bottom, to design the roadway improvements, the parking lot, the sidewalk, a portion of Greenbelt, and some landscaping. So not the full build out of the park, but basically all the things you need in order to build a park. So that's what we're planning to do in 2025. Like I said, we're working out details with our partner as we speak. But we anticipate 2025 will be really focused on those roadway improvements because we'll have to work with ACHD. It's a fair amount of roadway and that will need to be improved, and working with ACHD can take between 6 and 9 months review process. So being thoughtful and pragmatic, we anticipate design will take pretty much the bulk of the year.
Just one thing I'd throw in on that, the escalation from the originally planned 1.2 from regional parks dollars to 1.5 is within the inflationary adjustments. Like if we took the 13.1, the 9.4, the 3.8, that would bring in 14 or 15. 5.4 for the base sale.
Charles F. Devitt Youth Sports Complex. We are finalizing a master plan update, refresh, that was done this last winter and spring. And when I say was done, what I mean is we went through a lengthy engagement process with the neighborhood and the community to determine what would be done, how the 10 acres of undeveloped property would be built out. All of this was catalyzed by the expectation that we would have impact fee dollars to make improvements to that park in fiscal year 25. So we're doing our best to try and line up our programming with available funding. In this case, we will be going to commission next week with a master plan that we will ask commission to consider and approve. The amenities that the neighborhood selected based on the available budget include some skate features, a pump track, some pathways, and some landscaping. And I'm moving through these. If you have a question, feel free to raise your hand or interrupt me, don't hesitate. Molinar Park. So, as you are aware, probably, we built out that skate park, which is super sweet. And if you ride any wheeled items, I would highly recommend going and rolling around on it. In partnership with the J.A. Catherine Albertson Foundation, excuse me. A couple of years ago, I believe it was 2021, the neighborhood had applied for investment, energized dollars, neighborhood investment dollars, to build and escalate the building of volleyball courts, which were conceived within the master plan, but unfortunately not funded with the impact fees we had available at the time. The neighborhood investment application was approved, but unfortunately due to staff turnover and sort of a backlog of projects, was not executed. So when we received estimates this last winter, cost escalation had gone up, and our expectations with regard to accessibility have gone up. And so what we have here before us is a fully accessible volleyball court project. And we are asking that $150,000 of impact fee monies be used to basically close the funding gap for these volleyball courts. Bridge to Rivers additional trails. So, gosh, what year was it? 2020, 2017, maybe 2018? The Open Space Division and the Ridge to Rivers Partnership embarked on a planning effort that resulted in a 10-year management plan for the Ridge to Rivers Trail System. And through that engagement process, we received feedback from the community as to what trail connections they'd like to see. And since that time, we have done regular survey efforts to try and pinpoint specifically where those trails should be and how they should be constructed. In other words, should they be directional? Should they be purpose-built? That sort of thing. And so these projects that you see before you are a result of that engagement. It took a while to bring them to fruition because not only did we have to wait for impact fees to be available, but also these trails are on Bureau of Land Management property. And as you can see, it goes through a portion of private property as well. So we needed to work out permissions with that agency and that landowner. The Bureau of Land Management 3 years ago started an environmental assessment process, and that has now been kind of rolling through the mechanics of the federal government, and we are at a point where they are comfortable with us moving forward. So the Curlew Connection Trail is approximately 1.5 miles, and it links Hulls Gulch to Rocky Canyon. This is a important connection as we try to build connections, east to west along the front of the foothills, provide people with many opportunities to connect to a variety of trails. And the other trail that's listed here is the 8th Street Purpose-Built Trail, approximately 1.7 miles, and it is our first downhill-only mountain bike trail in the Ridge to Rivers Trail System. There's a couple reasons for why it's one of the only ones. One is, for a long time, our trail users didn't want to see purpose-built trails. They wanted all trails to be multi-use. That sentiment has changed as our trails have become busier, and as mountain biking has gotten to be more one of the higher uses. And the second is our soils don't often allow for this type of kind of harder use on a trail because there's speed involved and braking and that sort of thing. So being able to do this, you have to find the right spot for it, and then also obviously get permissions of the landowner. So we are at that place and planning to use $210,000 of impact fee dollars in 2025 to construct those trails. Spalding Ranch, I don't know if you've driven by there recently, but you're probably going to be just as excited as I am that we are seeing some construction on this property. There is an access road that has been punched off of Cole, so that we can begin to bring growers and farmers onto the site and to utilize at least the open space portion of the property for public engagement. The next phase of work on this property will be to further enhance the site with a restroom, one of the basic needs, right, at a park site, shelter and a wash station so that growers have a place to bring their product and kind of finish it, right, clean it off, make sure that it can be packed and hopefully eventually either sold and or just plain old eaten. We don't anticipate asking for any additional impact fee dollars in 2025 to do this design work. We are going to be utilizing impact fee savings from the roadway project that we're completing in the next month. But I just wanted to give you a heads up because we get a lot of questions about this project. Want to let you know that we're continuing to march forward with activating that site. And don't worry, we'll still have a pumpkin patch this fall. That was super, super, super popular. Veterans Memorial Park.
Ooh, it's busy.
The impact fee dollars for this park were, and I'll explain that in just a second, Tony. The impact fee dollars for this park were available in FY24. But we have not been in a position where we could execute the construction of the amended master plan features until this coming fiscal year. The result of what you see before you is the result of an engagement effort to update the master plan and update the lease agreement we have with the state to utilize impact fee dollars that were going to become available for this park. And through that engagement process, what we found was that folks wanted a disc golf course here, a full 18-hole disc golf course, a nature play area, and some security enhancements. So that's what we are planning on executing this coming fiscal year. This will be our second full disc golf course in our park system. We only have one at Ann Morrison. And that's a growing sport, low level, entry. It's affordable. Folks can do it, as little as 5 and as old as 95. So it's a wonderful outdoor recreational opportunity for folks of many generations. And it's fun to see out at Ann Morrison Park, the groups of people who are playing together because it truly is all ages. So we worked with our police department and our security team to kind of come up with what might help this park be more welcoming and safe for all. And so we're, as we further the concept of the master plan into a design, those types of things will be, more detailed. But yeah.
I see numbers on there, 1, 2, 3, are those like holes?
Yes, yes, and what ends up being on the ground might vary, depending on, we've been working with the Disc Golf Association to try and identify appropriate sites, and then I'm sure they'll wanna have some opportunity to provide input on the alignment, given the unique nature of the site with veterans memorials, and also kind of the combination of open space natural area with room park site, so. But that was the layout that we came to in partnership with them and our risk and safety team here at the city.
So the only thing I noticed with it is commenting is that at Ann Morrison, it's nice because there's parts of the park that are not for free golf. And then people can go in and out. I just know a lot of times you get people walking through the middle of the course. One is kind of get your, two, the golfers don't like you. But it does look like that's the entire park. Just fun.
I will make sure to share that feedback with our designers as they move forward with aligning the whole locations with the paths. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Sure.
Any questions about the parks presentation? So I can't see Jeremy.
He's good.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's good, okay. I just had a question about Altair's.
Sure.
I thought I read it in the paper, gosh, last time, it was a couple weeks ago, that ACHD and Department of Transportation are looking at the bridge situation over the Boise River near the Altair Park site. Have you heard anything about that?
Other than what was reported in the news, I don't have any further detail. Our team is in connection with ACHD. And obviously there's an acknowledgement that we are a property owner adjacent to that project. And also that our users will probably be impacted by the results of that project. So we're doing our best to keep track of it and be at the table while they're making design decisions, but it seems like it's moving very slowly.
It did look like it was moving very slowly, and that was sort of my concern with sort of greenbelt alignment, plan for greenbelt alignment. I don't want ACHD to come down in 2 years and say, oh, by the way, we're moving the greenbelt.
Well, thankfully, they will be part of our review process as well for the road improvements and greenbelt where it tees up to the road, so.
Perfect. And the money you're looking to spend for Altair this year is just regional parks money?
Correct.
Okay,
And it's for the design that we need done for the roadway and the parking lot, which would serve.
thank you.
My question on Molinar, so it did say there was $40,000 to pay for investment, and
That's correct.
that was awarded a couple of years ago. That was never gonna be enough to cover the whole cost.
Correct.
Clarify that.
All right. So it looks like you want us to approve these two items.
We're not.
To consider approval of these two items.
Tony, may I ask a question?
Go for it, Michael.
Sarah, just curious, after, if the volleyball courts get approved, are there any other plans with in regards to Molinar Park, or will that kind of be the park for a while?
Yeah, thank you, Michael. That's a great question. So impact fee dollars are projected for this park until 2027. And we have not fully built out the master plan. Tennis courts are also envisioned to be a part of that park. So future impact fee dollars could go towards tennis courts and any other additional amenities I can't think of off the top of my head, but have not been built out yet.
Thank you.
Basketball court. Thank you, Trevor.
So tennis courts and a basketball court potentially in the future?
Correct.
All right, thank you so much.
Sure.
Should we split this into two? Or do you think we can do it all in one motion? All right. So I'm looking for a motion if we want one.
I move to recommend the impact fee revenue change for Boise Parks and Recreation, including the Alta Harris Park frontage improvements from 1.2 million to 1.5 million for FY 25, and then Molinar Park volleyball courts, accelerate that to 150K to FY 25.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michael. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Police Mobile Command Vehicle Budget Adjustment.
Lots of words.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But if you all recall, during, when we came up with the impact fee plan, there was also the consideration of having a mobile command center for the police department. We actually budgeted in the year that we approved the plan, so back in 2023, we approved the 400,000 that was in the impact fee plan. And it was supplemented, as we always, similar to the kind of the reverse scenario from the volleyball courts. We knew that the 400 wasn't going to be adequate, so the city supplemented with 100,000 of our own dollars. That too is no longer adequate because it's, 2 years later and we're finally getting around to placing the order. And so the cost came in at about 560,000 plus some upfit charges. So we're just asking to take an increase in inflationary increases. We'll keep the $100,000 that Boise's putting in, add that to the budget, so it'll take the budget. Sorry. So it would increase the budget by the 2 inflationary adjustments that already happened. So increasing the impact fee revenue budget by $95,000. Again, that would keep the city's funded portion, so the total cost for the piece of equipment we anticipate will be just shy of $600,000. But again, it's just taking the inflationary adjustments to catch up with where costs are actually sorting out on this one.
Can you just say you had a request of 560,000? So we're over budget.
Plus retrofit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up there, exactly. So it's fleet charges for, putting the technology on the piece of equipment. And if you have any other more detailed questions, Jody from the police department is on as well. If you have anything that's operationally.
Have we gone to the city and asked them to up their bid to 200,000? Is that one? Money from somewhere else?
We have not, just sitting in the budget office, I know that funds are exceptionally tight in the capital fund, given the status of various facilities. So since the money theoretically is there, and we just reduced the contribution from police for the fire station, so there's money available for it.
This is the better budget.
Was that?
This is the better budget.
Would you expect, so if city council agrees to this, we're buying it this year?
Yeah, I think they might, let me think about it. I think they might have cut the PO already, and Jody can, because the actual, unit itself was, I think, just under 500,000, and like the equipment that we're putting on, not the install and all that, it's got into the 562. So I think we've already cut the PO, or it's
Okay.
in short order.
All right, well, that's not bad. I mean, we're really just looking at the inflationary adjustments since 2022.
What's the reason that we didn't order it then?
This is, yeah, speak.
Oh, sorry.
You cut out.
Oh, sorry, I'm having computer issues. Are you able to hear me now?
And we can hear you now.
Okay, so good afternoon, Jody McCroskey, Chief Admin Officer for the Police Department. And we started doing discovery back in 2021 for this vehicle. And due to supply change, vendors trying to negotiate a dual purpose between crisis negotiation and also have it be an incident command vehicle, we changed our original scope, which was just to do crisis negotiation, realizing that we could combine both use into one vehicle and save a lot of money for the city, but needing to find the correct vendor and then do the appropriate research to make sure it would meet today's needs and allow us to build in some growth that we know as these teams and incidents continue to increase across the valley. So feels like a long time, but that time was mostly negotiating with vendors, doing site visits to actually see the vehicle in use. And I think there's a picture in the packet. Our latest visit was to Oakland PD. Fortunately, Boise does not see the amount of incidents they have because they have 3 of these, but it allowed us to see really would it work for the needs that Boise has and continue to meet the needs into the foreseeable future. So with all of that, we do feel like this is the right way to go to meet the need.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jody.
You bet.
Tony, can I ask a question?
Over, Michael.
Thank you. Travis or Jody, was there any discussions of a partnership with Garden City Police in the past, or am I misremembering?
Yes, absolutely. And we do have use of a trailer that is shared across the Treasure Valley. The trailer is housed at Garden City. We do pull that out for deployment. It was used last, in an incident you'd all know about, the mall shooting. Every vehicle in the valley was brought out. What we're seeing now across the city of Boise is that often we will have our SWAT or Special Operations Group team out on a call and also then need to be reacting to another incident. So yes, we do use that when we can. Boise Fire also has a shared incident trailer that we use. It is not set up for crisis negotiation, which is a lot of technology. Currently for that use, we have a motorhome that's over 20 years old that is about ready at end of life. So this would be in large part a replacement of an existing vehicle, but dual purpose.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? So Travis, you're looking for a motion here to approve the inflationary adjustments?
Right, taking it from 400 to 494
Okay,
of impacting contribution, keeping that.
okay.
So I move that we increase the impact fee money for the BPD mobile command vehicle from 400,000 to 494,926. Assuming that the city is also maintaining its contribution from the general fund of 100,000. For total budget of 594,926.
Second that?
Thank you and thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Any opposed? Motion passes. That's the whole agenda. We get a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn the meeting at 12:37, no, 33.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I
Great, thank you all very much.